I
Hello,
was,
welcome. Oh, hey. Okay.
oops. Yeah. And that was ironic in a way because I was going to say, I was nervous about screwing up, but now I'm not anymore. And then it's saying that I screw up.
Hello and welcome to the Zelda Board podcast. This is episode 3. I'm Spiegelwee, your host, and with me tonight are co-hosts HexDuplicate Dot
How's it going, guys?
and Twilight Prince 12 from the IGN Zelda Board.
Hello, everyone.
And tonight we were going to have Zyber on. Twilight Prince 12 was originally supposed to be a guest host, but Zyber is not with us tonight due to unforeseen circumstances. So here we are, just the three of us, another three-person episode here, and we got a lot to talk about. Just kidding, we have nothing to talk about, but we're going to start off with some news anyway, and then we'll have our little guest spotlight, and we'll have TP talk about himself a little bit, and then we will talk about our main topic, which we'll reveal later in the show. So I've got some news here. It's all Smash related. Nothing happened this week. I'm going to skip some of this minor stuff. We were going to talk about the trophy shop. They showed a screenshot earlier in the week about how you can buy trophies with your play coins that you get when walking around with your 3DS. I am interested to see how that turns out on the Wii U because obviously they don't have play coins. But there will probably be a different method. But I'm gonna skip all that. Oh, unless you want to say something about it.
I actually wasn't under the impression that they were play coins. I thought they were just coins you get in game.
Well, I was looking at the screenshot, and it had play coins on the screen.
Okay.
And what you would do is you'd like buy gold with your play coins or actual coins. I don't know.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. It's kind of a weird system. I don't know why you'd bother exchanging play coins for coins and then using the coins for trophies, but both of them were on the screen. So
Right. Well, let's not dwell on that.
we only have 2 months left to find out all that stuff. So,
Right.
Yeah, so let's move on. I also wanted to mention, just real quick, the Game Boy stage. That looks totally awesome. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I totally geek out about stuff like that. So the final thing I had was we have some rumors that have appeared lately of a store. I don't know, it was somewhere. I know it's really helpful, but the rumor is that Smash Brothers for Wii U will release on November 28th, 2014. Officially Black Friday. Also, many consider to be the start of the holiday season, and it does say Holiday 2014 on the website. So I don't know if you guys think this is a likely date.
I mean, I don't think it's unlikely. I mean, the holiday season kind of does start end of November, start of December, so if they're going to hold to their promise of having it out by the holiday, if it's not out by then, I'm going to say delay or something like that, but I also like that date because it is one day before my birthday. So, if it is true, that's great for me.
Okay.
Get a little birthday gift.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about, I guess we talked about it a bit, but I think it's fairly likely date or hopefully, as you said, holiday. Be better to get it out a little early and not too late in the year. So maybe either that date or shortly after.
My thought is that they're actually the reason, and I just thought of this like about an hour ago, and I didn't say it before because I wanted to save it for this moment. But my thought is that they're waiting to unveil this big Wii U bundle for Black Friday, and it's going to be like the ultimate, like, $350 comes with Mario Kart 8 and Smash Brothers for Wii U and an Amiibo figurine, and you're going to have this big package, and like it's going to be like in all the stores, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, look at this brand new Nintendo product that nobody's heard of because it's been marketed terribly," and I think it's gonna sell fantastic, and I think it's a really good idea for them to do something like that, and I think that's probably the direction they're heading, which is why they haven't revealed the release date because they're waiting to roll out the red carpet on the entire package.
I should have thought of that one, especially the Amiibo part. If they have a package with an Amiibo, that would help it take off. To just have it right there when people pick up the new system.
Yeah.
This new second Wii that apparently is out now. Yeah.
That's just an add-on, right? Like it's not even a new console.
Is it common for them to bundle two kind of high-profile games like that with a contest.
Well, the way I see it, they were so willing to give away a free game with Mario Kart 8. I don't know why they wouldn't be willing to do it again.
Yeah, that is true, but I don't remember all of the games that were listed or that were included with Mario Kart 8. But were they all?
It was like Wii Party 2 and Pikmin 3, Zelda Wind Waker HD, some other ones.
Those were the three I remembered, and I think there's a fourth one as well.
There is a fourth one, but I can't remember what it is right now. I think it could be. Could it be Super Mario, New Super Mario Brothers U?
Yep. I owned all of the others. Yeah, that was it. I owned all of those, so I just had to get Wii Party U.
Have you played Wii Party U yet, by the way?
Nope, waiting until I have some friends over who want to try it with me. But we played Mario Kart 8 instead when that happened. So
I played that game with a couple friends, and I thought it was pretty fun. I mean, there's some stupid mini games in there, but it's just like Mario Party. But we had a good time. So that's Wii Party U.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna have a terrible segue about these Smash characters, but now there's not even an opportunity because we're barely talking about that at this point. But one thing I wanted to say regarding Smash is that they have announced 36 characters to date, and that is a lot of characters. And we are talking about Meta Knight and whether he's going to be in or not. And I was thinking, they already have so many, and can this many characters possibly fit on a 3DS cartridge, let alone all the ones they probably still haven't announced? I'm assuming there's still more surprises in the bag, plus characters like Falco, Ganondorf, Ice Climbers, and a bunch of others who just have not been announced yet. So I think it would be an interesting exercise to sort of go through all the characters that have been in Smash Brothers and say whether you think that they have earned a spot in the new game or not.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we'll start with I mean, do we want to go with obvious characters like Falco? I mean, let's just say we'll all say yes or no at the same time. So I'll say the character, we'll all say yes or no. Falco.
I'm actually iffy on Falco.
You don't think so?
No, I'm probably. I mean, the chances are higher that he will be, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not.
Why do you think not?
I don't know. Like, I mean, he is a clone, so I guess it would be easier for them to include him than to create a new character. And there's not a lot of other characters in the Star Fox universe that I think warrant inclusion. But
okay.
So I'm going to say probably, but I'm not confident. I'm not like 100% sure.
Do you think it's because Nintendo might be getting away? It seems like Nintendo's been getting away from the Star Fox franchise a lot. I mean, and maybe they want to put less emphasis on it?
That is true, but they are also developing a new Star Fox, so it might be a good idea to kind of keep the little momentum they have on that going to kind of give people a taste before they release the next Star Fox game. I don't know.
Even if a new one wasn't coming out, I could see them keeping Falco, because they kept Toon Link and some other clone characters. But I think since there is a new Star Fox, they're going to want to keep some focus on the series in Smash Brothers. So I'd say that'd be another reason Falco would return.
Okay, we're going to skip characters like Dr. Mario. Even though Dr. Mario was intended for Brawl, according to this list, I don't think he's making it into this game.
Yeah, I doubt it. Maybe a
costume. Which is too bad, because Dr. Mario is so much better than Mario in Melee.
I want him to be a costume or something,
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why they couldn't do that. But Ganondorf, I think yes.
Yes.
I think they're waiting to show off his new moveset.
That's what I'm hoping.
Hope so.
I don't think he's going to be a Captain Falcon clone again.
I actually prefer that he's not in if he is a Captain Falcon clone. That's how much I hate the idea of his being a clone, because it makes no sense to me.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah. Have there ever been clones that were brought back and then weren't clones anymore? Would that be history for Smash Brothers?
Let me see here.
Well, there have been characters that have been slightly decloned, but they're still remnants of their old moveset. Like, Falco has a pretty different moveset from Fox in terms of his A attacks, but his B attacks they're superficial changes.
Luigi's a little bit different now.
Yeah, that's true.
Did Luigi always have that side flying thing? But yeah, that was a way to make him different as well.
Right. Yeah, he's changed a good bit.
Yeah. And he still has that kicking taunt thing, which is really funny. So that's good. I'm glad they kept that.
Yeah, that good nostalgic.
Yeah. So Ice Climbers. I don't know about this one.
Do you really not? Oh, that's interesting.
I don't.
What's your thought process on that?
My thought process is they've never been a particularly popular character. They have not been against removing characters that nobody really cares for. Pichu's out. Game & Watch has not been confirmed, and I'm not convinced that he will be either.
Oh yeah, I remember people suspecting that since they're not, they don't have changing characters, they might not have like two characters together, or it might be harder to do on, say, the 3DS. But then we do have Rosalina and Luma. But I could see them cutting out the Ice Climbers since they aren't the most popular.
I'm going to come at it from a slightly different perspective and say I think it would be weird for them to cut them out just solely because they're a very popular character in the competitive scene. And I know Nintendo isn't necessarily super aware of the competitive scene, but they've been made aware of it recently, and they've been showing a lot of effort in kind of becoming more acquainted with it, like trying to use the terminology on their shows and conventions and things like that. And they recently did that Smash Brothers tournament. So I think just in light of that fact, and in light of the fact that he's already been in 2 games in a row, I don't think they're going to remove the Ice Climbers. And I don't think the technical limitations argument holds a lot of water, just because, as you said, there's already Rosalina and Luma, and there's also Olimar, so there's not, I don't think there's a lot of sound logic there anymore.
I think that's a good point, and I don't know how much Nintendo is interested in representing every single one of their franchises ever in this game. I mean, they've always been big on that with the Smash series, but I'm not convinced that if they had to, say, cut a character, that Ice Climbers probably wouldn't be their number one choice.
Though there is also another argument to be said. Characters that have been cut in the past have typically been clones.
That is true.
And if not, they have had some sort of... I mean, I don't know that you can really compare Lucario and Mewtwo as being all too similar other than their neutral B attacks, but
Shadow Ball.
Why cut Ice Climbers if there's no comparable character?
That is true.
It kind of be... I mean, they do create characters for the sake of creating new playstyles rather than representation of the franchise, so... If that playstyle is unique, then don't cut it, right?
Yes, but then if I could make the same argument for Ivysaur and Squirtle, why would you cut them? I mean, they're not going to be in this game, right? I figured they would have been confirmed with Charizard, and you can make the comparison that Squirtle's similar to, Greninja, but there's no Ivysaur. I mean, Ivysaur sucked anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but,
I think the thinking there was just there weren't going to be any transformation characters, and if they were going to bring someone back from those 3 characters, it was going to be Charizard, just because he's the most popular.
Right. Well, that's a reasonable argument. And speaking of Pokemon not confirmed, we got another one, Jigglypuff.
Yes.
And this one, to me, before I wasn't as concerned because they hadn't revealed Captain Falcon, and I was like, okay, they're just going to wait to reveal like the original, 4 secret characters, not including Luigi, who at this point is a main character. But still... Captain Falcon, no Jigglypuff, and no Ness either, which has concerned a lot of people.
I'm not worried.
I'm not worried either, but you start thinking about, again, this game already has so many characters, and this is basically just one guy doing all the balancing, and I'd rather have less characters and have it be, balanced than have a ton of characters and, have a good portion of them suck because they just didn't have enough time.
I could see them tossing a couple characters just because of... feelings that they weren't working as well in the new environment of the game. Also, I was thinking that now that we're 4 games in, I could see us finally losing a couple characters from the first game. Not just a series that's been around longer is more likely to drop a few things from the first one.
Not as many people are as attached to the original as they were, say, when Brawl was first coming out, when they had to keep all those characters, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's another good point. It's just the longer a franchise is around, the more it kind of gets away from where it started. It might not keep everything So that could include a few characters.
I wouldn't see them tossing Ness because I think, well, it depends. I don't think they'd keep Lucas and not Ness.
I think Ness will be in it, especially since Earthbound is finally a purchasable game. I mean, I know that's not the most important factor, but
My thought on Jigglypuff is, I mean, there's a lot of people out there who say original 12 are sacred. I kind of hold to that. I mean, I don't want to be dogmatic about it, but I do think the original 12 are here to stay.
Right.
I don't see a reason to remove Jigglypuff because porting a character from an old game is not nearly as time consuming as creating a new one. And since Sakurai is getting help balancing this time around, he's not doing it all himself.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he is actually. I mean, Namco is helping with the game, so.
Okay, well, forgive me for saying that earlier. Then.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. But yeah, I don't think there's a big chance of them dropping either of those characters, especially since Ness is kind of the poster boy of Earthbound, and as the one game that got released in America had Ness in it rather than Lucas, I don't think they would keep Lucas, like you said, without Ness.
So moving on, back to Pokemon again. There's no chance that Mewtwo's in this game, right?
I mean, I'm not gonna. I want him, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the chart, and it says it's funny because it says Mewtwo was intended for both the original game and Brawl, but he only made it into Melee. And again, I'll have a link to this chart so you can go ahead and look at it. But just looking at it, it's like I don't understand. He didn't make it in the first game when he was supposed to. He didn't make it into Brawl, and he was clearly supposed to. I don't know if it was a situation where they just replaced him with Lucario, but either way, Lucario's in this game.
Right. And the Pokemon roster is already huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mewtwo would be a nice little final surprise because, yeah, I'm not expecting him.
Okay, a couple more. Game & Watch we kind of already touched on. ROB Rob.
I hope he's back. I liked him a lot.
I did too. He was a fun character.
I'm thinking about how he was in a couple Mario Kart games and then he wasn't. So that sort of makes me expect that there was this phase where Nintendo was bringing back Rob in a bunch of games, and I could almost just imagine that they decided not to.
They decided it was a dumb idea.
Do you think it's a dumb idea?
No, I don't. I love it. I just, like they already have several, as they call them, WTF characters in this game. And I always thought that Rob was kind of one of those, which I was totally cool with because I like Rob. But I think maybe they feel like they've reached their limit with stuff like that. They already have, Wii Fit Trainer and the Mii Fighters and Palutena, who, I don't know. I don't feel like she has a place in this game, but that's me. So moving on, Snake, not back, right?
Yeah, I highly doubt it at this point.
They probably would have said something already. Wario? Wario was the last interesting one.
Yeah, I think he's back. He was a interesting and highlighted newcomer in Brawl. They made a big deal about him.
I think one of the first ones, yeah.
So I don't think they're going to drop him.
I was going to say he was the first one who was announced, but you guys already got that covered. But actually, yeah, that makes me think
he wasn't because Pitt and Zero Suit Samus were, I think, before him in that first trailer. And I'm going way back to like 2005, probably at this point, 2006. But
man, I feel old.
Yeah, that's 8 years ago. That's unbelievable. Okay, and one more, Wolf. I don't think so. I didn't think that Wolf ever really kind of caught on. Not only with just general players, but with the scene in general. Like, no one ever talks about Wolf. I don't think anyone would care if he was gone.
Yeah, I don't think he's differentiated enough from Fox and Falco that they need to keep him. And with the roster already getting pretty big, I wouldn't be surprised if they dropped him.
Yeah. Okay, so we basically have gone over everybody. We're not going to really talk about the new characters because we don't have to. And we went a long time on that. So now we're going to talk to our guest host, TP12. Have you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go ahead and end this part of the episode, and then we'll go to the next part. So, TP, go ahead. Just let loose. Talk about whatever you want for a couple minutes.
All right, sounds good, Spiegelly. I guess I can start at the beginning. Not sure there's too much to say, but I first joined IGN in around 2005 because of Twilight Princess hype. So then, in fact, I was just reading IGN. I was still kind of new to the internet, and then I was reading some article about Zelda or Twilight Princess, and then at the bottom it said, "You check out the message board." And at that time, it was like, wait, I can find a bunch of other people that are really into Zelda like me. That's been like a dream all my life. So I read it a little bit, and then I was like, yeah, I got to join this place to talk nerdy with everyone about Zelda. This is great.
Just for the kids at home who are listening to this podcast and who are born in the 2000s and are 8 years old, like some people who are listening to this, back in the day, we didn't have social media like Facebook. The closest thing we had was MySpace, and you could only find your friends on MySpace. You didn't have like all these groups of people who were super into stuff, and you could just talk nerdiness all day. So, but what we had was message boards like the IGN Zelda Board. And so a lot of us just kind of stuck around. But the decline of the message board has been quite sad, in my opinion, due to social media. Okay, I digress. Go ahead.
Actually, I'm kind of happy that the Zelda board still exists, considering how much things have shifted. For me, yeah, the IGN Zelda board was sort of the dawn of, hey, go on a website and just share your thoughts with others. And so it's kind of surprising when I first saw Facebook and other social media come up. Here I am now, and at first, I sort of thought, how much is there going to be here? But I was excited to talk about A Link Between Worlds. I guess that's what brought me back. But then I saw Spiegelwee, by himself, made a couple threads, like his whole chronology of his life experience of playing Zelda. So I saw there's still quite a bit of activity.
I don't even remember that. I don't remember making that thread. But we still try to keep it active around here. So, by the way, if you're listening to this podcast and you have no idea what Zelda Board means, go on IGN, actually just go ahead and Google search IGN Legend of Zelda Board, and you'll take you right to our lovely abode, and you can nerd out with us about Zelda games.
Better yet, there's going to be a link in the description.
Oh, duh. Yeah, just do that. Look at me.
Google it yourself.
Yeah, click that link.
And, I got egg all over my face.
And we could always use more people because we have I feel like we have a more active, consistent community than sometimes in the past few years.
Even just a year ago.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we can always have more. It's a nice place to get to talk about Zelda and not get drowned out. I'm glad it's not, blazing fast.
Yeah.
But there's definitely room for more to support the community. So
absolutely. So now that we're done digressing, tell us a little bit about what your favorite Zelda game is, since we're kind of profiling you here.
That's perfect topic. For many years now, I've considered my favorite one Majora's Mask. I remember at one point that made you, the oddball. Now it's kind of the common internet opinion to like Majora's Mask. But it's just always been, I don't play it as often as Ocarina of Time or A Link to the Past. But when I do play it, there's just so much to do in the game. It was the Zelda game that taught me that all the side content can be just as important to the full experience. Play it, I always enjoy how many side quests there are to do, heart pieces to find. And I do kind of hold it as the standard of how Zelda can be very creative and deviate from the norm. I mean, the fact that they added Transformation Mask and a 3-day time limit system that changes how you can interact with the NPCs. That's all still very special to me. So I guess that would be most about why Majora's Mask is my favorite. I still like the idea of new Zelda games surprising us in that way.
That's a pretty excellent description of that game, and you kind of maybe want to go back and do it after that. And there's still so many people out there who haven't played Majora's Mask, and because we haven't had a proper re-release of it yet, like a certain game, In fact, certain games at this point.
Yeah, like a certain game that was released, as a pre-order bonus, and then as a 3D remake, and then yeah. So.
And it took forever to get Majora's Mask on the Wii Virtual Console, and it's taking too long, frankly, because it's such a good game, and we were talking about this kind of last week with Hyrule Warriors X, when we were talking about how Majora's Mask seems to be kind of underrepresented in that game.
Yeah, it is a little bit saddening to see Majora's Mask kind of treated as a little bit of a divergent game. It's kind of like a black sheep. It is a core Zelda game. It's a major release. It's not even a handheld or anything like that. Sometimes people think the handheld's a little lower tier than
true. Not
the
true.
console games. I don't believe that, but
I know, but I'm telling everyone else, if you think that, it's not true. Play the Minish Cap, play A Link Between Worlds, play Link's Awakening. They're all fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Here.
But yeah, I do think we need more Majora's Mask in our lives.
Yes, we do. I can always use more Majora's Mask. Okay, so that'll do it for this part of the episode, and actually, we'll just call this episode 3, part 1, and we're gonna move on, and we'll post episode 3, part 2 a little later on in the week, but we're just gonna split it up into 2 parts, and we'll go ahead and click the link when it comes up for the second part of the episode, just so 30-minute segments, a little bit easier to swallow for everybody. So we're just going to split it into 2 parts, and you can go listen to the next part right now if you want to, or if you're listening to it the day we post it, it'll be up in just a few days. So thanks for listening to this part, everybody, and we'll see you back in a couple days.